Hi, welcome back to probably the final episode from this island. So, as a reminder, oops, this is Midori Island, my Japanese-inspired slumber island, and I've now covered most of the areas outside, and we finished the whole interior of my house, the bathhouse as well. So now there is very little left, like a few transitional areas and the beaches. Except for this one. This one is actually already finished by my Zengan here. And by the way, shall we take a quick tour? Just to kind of get an overview of the situation. But if we do that, I do like the sunset. But maybe more of like a midday time would be better. So this is the Zen garden. Actually only covers this very small portion of the island, but then I've kind of extended it to the beach here to make it bigger. I think this turned out really cool, and so this beach is already taken care of. Then up here across this bridge, you can tell this is where I've not been yet, so we would need to take care of this. And there is also a beach over here that I've not touched at all yet. Not sure if I even want to place anything here, but we'll see about that. And then up here is the bathhouse. So first of all, we got some hot springs on the outside. And then, like I said, I already finished this interior here. And then over here, there is this bridge. Over here we have this mystical gate up here, as I called it. If we walk across this custom bridge, over here is the lookout with my field and also the gate back there. And there is some stairs down here to another beach that I have not touched at all yet, and this is also looking pretty rough. And this beach is actually pretty big, and there is some more space back here. Like, look at this. So we definitely have to take care of this. It's actually quite a large space. Oh wait, no, you can just walk through here. So this is the entrance of the island. This is what I built in the very first video, and that leads you up here. And then over here, we got some more stairs, and this just leads you back to this bridge and to the Zen garden. I think this is my favorite view, my favorite lookout on the island so far. And as you can see, there's no plants back there or over here in this whole space, actually. Also, oh, there is more beach. I forgot about this part. So yeah, there are still quite a few spots that need some touch up. Mostly, I think I can get away with just placing trees and bushes and then we're good. But maybe I can place some few, like, little extra details. But yeah, that's gonna be today's mission, and then the island is finally going to be done. And I think what bothers me the most at the minute is this part. I think it's also because I constantly walked between the Zen garden and the hot springs up here, so I always saw this and I was always like, I need to finally get to this part. So let's take care of that first. So we need to continue the stone path. This looks so much better already. One thing to also keep in mind though is that I probably want for this beach to be accessible, don't I? So maybe I could just place a flower over here because you can walk through that and then get to the beach. Maybe some pink hyacinths, some plants, some bushes, some glowing moss. Pretty much what I've been doing everywhere already. It's gonna be a bunch of spamming this stuff today, I feel like. Ta-da! And as for the beach over here, I'm thinking maybe this could just be kind of a walkway, and then in the back here we could have some sort of interest. Maybe like a shrine type of thing? Ooh, this is a bit random, but what if we used Stonehenge? Does that fit here? Huh, the rocks are colored a bit differently. But I don't think that has to be a bad thing. These guys are a similar color also, it seems. Yeah, maybe we can make this work. What if we had two on the sides? Kind of like to do that. It kind of mirrors some other things that we built. I know in the bathhouse interior, in the office, there were like two. Actually, it wasn't these guys. It was the stone lion dog. What are they called? Lion dogs. So yeah. Wait, do these happen to come in a similar color, perhaps? think I actually like the regular color better. Or, what do we think about the mossy one? I do like the moss in general, but I think in this case it makes more sense for them to not have moss since they're on the rocks over here. I was gonna say though, placing these 3 times on the island like that in different spots feels kind of important. Not sure what the symbolism is or what it means, but that could be like a cool hint to something. I just don't know what yet. And what if we just kind of continue what we've been doing up there and place some of the pine tree items and the hot spring items? Those are both really big items, so I don't know if it might not block the pathway here, but let's try it. I would like to design the space in a way where it kind of makes you go around in a zigzag. Although, having said that, wait, this is not much of a zigzag, is it? You know, how about placing it right here and then another right here, and that way we get the zigzag. Okay, now you would go kind of like this? I wish I could place this one tile back, because I was hoping I could kind of make it. Oh, can't even get through here. Okay, we really don't have a lot of space over here. It's not much of a zigzag, but it's all right. Is there maybe some 1 tile rock that could go right here? I guess this garden rock. And then let's also place a bunch of flowers, of course. And I know it doesn't technically make sense to have like flowers and trees on the beaches and stuff, but the way I like to decorate beaches is by just kind of pretending that it's not a beach. I don't know, I feel like it kind of makes for a more interesting beach, because that way you kind of have more options. Because I feel like a lot of people, when they think of Animal Crossing beaches, they have a hard time decorating because, like, I need to build some, because they just feel like they have to do something that's super beach-y. But then if you have a whole island surrounded by beach, that gets old quick. Or it might not even fit the theme, and so, yeah, that's kind of difficult. Can I pull this down? No, I think I already tried that. Man. But so maybe just taking the beach not that serious and just kind of putting on whatever you want on there might be a good idea to kind of help you come up with better ideas what to do on them. Okay, spam some plants over here in this region, and then how do we make this back here cooler? I think first of all we can put some more plants over here, of course, and also a bush, maybe? Ooh, we could use some lights also. Maybe just candles or something? Ooh, what about just these bamboo candles? I'm thinking there could be one more thing, kind of like a centerpiece over here. What about the katanas, the swords? But is that kind of random? It looks so put together. I want this to be more like an ancient artifact. I guess there is this sword. Can we perhaps place this and then put the garden rock in front to kind of make it look like Excalibur or something? Actually, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. Oh, I think I've had another idea though. I mean, I'll have to definitely remember this because this is a cool idea. But I've just had another idea that perhaps fits the lore of this place better. Because remember, this is supposed to be like the spirit world and stuff. What if this is like the temple, the home, whatever, of some spirit? I was thinking if we could actually place like, ooh, these come in cool little containers, right? Do we like that? I was also thinking that, you know, there is a couple of animals that don't have a container at all. Maybe they could be like the spirit that resides here. Maybe the spider crab. Is that too creepy? That, you know, I think that's kind of cool. I am curious though, if we walk up there, can we see that from up there? Because it might be a bit of a jump scare then. Yeah, you can definitely see it. But blends in pretty well. Maybe you wouldn't even notice. I feel like the flower and the moss next to it aren't quite right though. I feel like I need to make this even more grand. Perhaps this guy's like the protector of the whole island. It's kind of fun how this is sort of hidden as well. I mean, not entirely, but I think if I invited somebody else on here, it might take them a while before they realize that you can do this to get back here. What if instead just the regular flowers, we do some flowers in flower pots? Oh, but I don't have that many. But what about this thing? This does come in white. I'm using that a lot here, I think. Kind of like how that ties in the green from the candles. I guess, maybe the purpose of these stone dog lions, because you know the other spot where they are is the mystical gate thing, and also the boss of the bathhouse. Maybe these are just kind of protectors. Maybe these are just kind of the bodyguards of the spirit world. I like that. I just think they're just made of stone, but then if somebody comes who is dangerous, perhaps they could turn to life and attack. Okay, yeah, that's a fun story. Okay, but let's get back, you know, the main thing that I was worried about was the view from here. We've not touched that at all yet. So, do we maybe want to take care of that right now? There is actually one thing I would like to try. See how it looks up here. What if we replaced this flower right here with a bush? Yeah, I think I prefer that from this view. While we're here, I have been thinking that the fence over there is a bit random. What if we put the same fence over on this end? I'll have to remove this. And maybe that'll make it look a bit better, like more symmetrical. I think that improves it. Okay, and then maybe let's place something back there as well. Kind of a bit nervous. Because again, this is probably my favorite lookout on the whole island, so I want to get this right. And I once again trapped myself, except I feel like you can do this. Oh yeah. Huh? Sometimes getting across somewhere in this game is such a pain for no reason. I was thinking about maybe placing a lantern right here. I don't know if you can even see this from down there, but let's place some stuff up here as well. I think I'll just sit with that for a while. And then let's do the same thing on the other side. You know, these two trees are pretty symmetrical. Maybe I could place a lantern on there as well. If we remove this, if we remove that, pine tree can go right here. And this is what it looks like now. Ooh, I think I want to do something else instead of the pink hyacinths. So perfectionist, but I think it'll look cooler. Yeah, I think I like that better. Okay, nice. Another thing is, okay, I would be this part. I was actually thinking this little spot right here could maybe become a little picnic. I do think I actually have a custom design that I made myself. Oh, custom designs and slumber islands. Look at that. But that's kind of cool that they're separately. I totally thought it would have to be the same as your home island. Anyway, these are the designs that I've made before, and so I'm thinking we could use those. And so perhaps we could place some food and also some gyroids on here that can have a little picnic. Although, wait. Do I have... Well, I do have some food. Yeah, maybe we're fine actually. I was worried I might not have the right items, but... I think we can do something with this. Ooh, I do love this little basket. It's so mean, my lore is like that. All of the spirits are like really enjoying themselves on the island here, and then you also have the souls that are having like the worst time ever. What do we think about actually swapping those and then placing the bottles back there? Oh, I think that matches well. And then let's place some gyroids. Of course, my favorite, the Dramoid, has to go in here. I don't love the colors that he has though. Maybe just this green one. Ooh, I like that, I think. Kind of going for a green and brown theme, I think. And then, maybe they can have one more friend, but in the front. But I think I'd like an odd amount of well, not people, odd amount of little guys better. Maybe that guy's actually going swimming. Oh, that would be fun. I think I'd like another green one down here, though, to balance it out. Did that guy come in green? No. Oh. Yeah, but does kind of seem like he's the same species as those bottles. I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'd like one, or another one better. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fun. Okay, show me your face. That guy does a little funny dance as well. I've seen a lot of people who kind of lie down umbrellas on their beaches. Do you have this one? Exquisite, which is a bit more our theme, I feel like. Yeah, I think that's cool. Yellow also matches with the glowing moss and some of the yellow flowers that we've been using. I always feel like they're too small to be like a beach parasol, but since these guys are really small as well, it kind of fits again. And then as for this path over here, what if I actually just place a small little path that goes down here? There we are. Now we got this little path to the beach branching off. Maybe on here there could just be a little bench to sit down. So with that, we have a little picnic over here and a pathway that leads us there. We also need to take care of this section up here, but I think I'm pretty much just gonna continue all of the jungliness from over there onto here. And here we are, pretty much just copied and pasted the nature to over here as well. And so now from up here it looks like this, and then if we go back to our picnic, we now get this background. I think that's really cool. And I've not actually looked at if this changes anything for this view. Maybe if you're back here a little bit. I think for the most part you can't really see over there. That's why I never finished this part also. And then I think I want to take care of the area all the way to the right here. This very long strip that I've never ever taken care of. So I think I'm going to take a little break and then I'm gonna come right back to finishing this. And when I came back, I happily continued recording the exact same way with the exact same settings as before, but my OBS must have kind of glitched or something because the audio on these clips is kinda, I want to say crackly. Is that even a word? It's not even that bad, but it's definitely noticeable, and I would find it annoying as heck watching a video with that audio, so instead I decided to do a quick voiceover replacing the original audio. I basically just placed random stuff. I placed a glowing moss pond and just some more pine tree items. And this time around, I don't even have an explanation for what the glowing moss pond is doing here. I thought this didn't need to be something that's part of the lore. I thought this could just maybe be like a natural phenomenon on this island, and like that's it. That's the explanation. I also placed a gazebo back there to fill up the space, and then that was pretty much it. Just continued the nature a lot, of course. This was also where I realized that the beaches look kind of weird and empty on the Slumber Island because there's no seashells that spawn here. I was wondering about that the whole time, looking at like, something's weird here. Yeah, it's that. So I was just gonna place down seashells, but then I was like, actually, what if we place something else? Because, you know, this is a spirit world, this is a different world. And I decided to place pearls. So I did also go to all of the other beaches as well and placed pearls on there. And at first I was thinking that we once again don't need an explanation for why again, but then I did actually end up coming up with lore. I can't stop myself. I was thinking perhaps the pearls are souls. As in, all of the souls that are made to work on this island here were once a pearl that arrived here by getting washed up on shore. I think if you add lore to your builds and video games like this, it just makes it that much cooler. Afterwards, I came to the area all the way in the back by the rocks, and I decided to build 2 more things quite similar to the picnic idea. So we got some gyroids, or, spirits, playing a board game together all the way in the back here. And then further in the front, on the beach here, I built them playing volleyball together. I even gave them a little referee. And then further down a little bit, I just did a generic beach thing and just placed some beach chairs that people could lie down on. And that's pretty much it for this beach. With that, the island was pretty much done, actually. But there was one little thing. One of the very first things that you see when you come in is, of course, this lookout with the field at the bottom there. And I built that field in episode 2, I believe, and I really liked it. But now, with the rest of the island around it, I was feeling kinda meh about it. So I wanted to give this another go. So I took a bunch of screenshots of the field in case I wanted to put it back. But basically, kinda sucks that the original audio is broken. But basically, I was like, guys, I'm just gonna take a quick second to try and figure out if I perhaps want to do something different on here. And spoiler alert, I ended up liking what I did here instead way better. Again, I don't think the field was that bad, but it didn't fit, in my opinion, was my problem. But so here's what I came up with instead. Yeah, okay, I think I like this way better now. It does make this area less unique compared to the rest of the island because it's kind of just the same that we've got going on everywhere. But I just much prefer this. We now got the water down here. It kind of just stops over here. I think that's okay. And then back here, the idea is obviously that kind of like, flows under here. And that's also what the bridge is for. It can also walk through here. There isn't really much going on, but you could walk here. And I think the reason... Can I get through here? Hello? Okay, whatever. Trust me. You can technically make that. I think why I like this more is because the trees and the bamboo kind of covers the cliff back there. Looking back at it now, you could see a lot of cliff because nothing that I placed down there was very high at all. I think I didn't like the fact that it was so visible before, but now it's nice and covered. And obviously I also placed the waterfall back there. Also kind of comes out of nothing back here, but I do think it doesn't feel as random because there's also the other 2 random waterfalls over here. Perhaps we could say that the rest of the water is kind of underground or something. But yeah, I'm really glad that I took the time to do that because I totally think this is an improvement. I think it's also less distracting than the field, with it being less unique, and that way it draws your eye more towards the center perhaps. So yeah, should we take a quick little speed run? A quick little look at everything that we did today. So obviously I just changed this. We furnished all of this over here. We have the little volleyball court. Oh, I didn't mean to turn that guy off. Back here we have these guys playing the board game. And obviously improved this section over here. Placed some pine trees. Down here we have the beds and then the glowing moss pond. Also this little gazebo right here. Over on this side, we put some more nature up there and placed down this little picnic. And this links up to the path through here. Improved this view, still probably my favorite on the island. And then back here, you can now hop across this and then make your way up here to the protector of the island. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. And this means the next video is going to be the island tour. So that's going to be the video where I take a look at everything again in more detail and also explain all of the lore. And then this mini-series is going to be completed with that. Yippee! Okay then, bye now.